I'm Christian Radiator.
I'm Douglas Glad.
This is Week to Wicked, presented by Performance Online. And in this episode, we're going to be building a 69 Camaro.
It's going to have a supercharged LS 427 that makes 900 horsepower. Also a stick shift and little tiny tires.
Yeah, so backing it up is going to be a T56. A lot of cool stuff on this car, so we're going to get this day going. POL guys are behind us, getting the car situated, and we're about to get started.
Let's build it.
Let's go. All right, so first thing we're going to be doing this morning, we're going to be doing suspension, front and rear, and brakes. Oh, you want to race me, huh, Doug?
Nope.
Oh, there we go. That's kind of nice. Okay, got one in.
What we're doing right now is getting started on our rear four-link setup. These are your factory leaf spring mounts. So your four-link bar is going to go in there. You get a series of spacers that will go in between and hold it into place. Do this first, otherwise you won't be able to get a nut on the backside of the bolt or anything once it's already in the car. So that's basically where you want to start with it.
In the front, they're using POL upper and lower tubular control arms. In the rear, of course, Camaros are leaf spring cars generally. So they took the leaf springs out and they put in the blacked out four-link kit. And the rear end is a 9-inch instead of, you know, the factory 10-volt that you would find.
I didn't put the rubber on right now, Doug. I just put this nut so I can hold it in place. That way when I put some pressure on it, it'll lift up.
Copy.
I'll get you a pull jack, Doug. See that? Bearings are good. If they were bad, I'd be spinning the crap out of it still.
Workman's comp. This is our upper four-link mount. This little slot right here, it's important that you do this while it's outside of the vehicle, otherwise you're going to have more of a funner time, you know, trying to fish your little jam nut, you know, into this slot. Okay, and this guy mounts right up over here.
We're getting all the front suspension stuff on right now, and PO guys are in the back knocking it out. I think we'll get this thing pretty soon. Look at that. Boom, take our pin out, cast a nut, just like that. I'm not heavy enough, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's the only time you can do this.
Your mom would be so proud right now.
Yes, Mom, look what I'm doing.
What do I do for a living, Mom?
One at work.
Yeah, now we've got our four-link brackets and everything ready. We're gonna go ahead and roll our 9-inch Ford Curry rear end in and then start hooking it up, and then we can put our coilovers on and get real close to being done with the back half here.
All right, here's our steering arm. Goes in the back of the spindle, and it's a rear steer, so this is gonna be pointing towards the back instead of the front. I'm gonna go ahead and put our bolts through there. That's where it's gonna stay in place. I'll get my nuts and washers, tighten that up, be good.
All right, now connecting the lower portion of our four-link arm.
Here's our bracket that attaches to the spindle, and our brake will attach here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is our bracket for brakes, bare brakes. And just like that, you put your nuts on there, tighten it up, then we can get our hub on. Once we get our hub on, we can get our caliper and our rotor on here.
She needs some encouragement. Yep. All right, so that's done. Now we just have to tighten everything up. We'll go ahead and throw our sway bar on there. This should be our panhard bar. It's going to keep our rear end squared and lined up so we're not kicked over to one side and rubbing tire on wheel well. Yep.
So we're going to be installing our POL gearbox. This is a 14-to-1 quick ratio gearbox. You know, it gives you a quicker turning for when you're on the track.
This is the backing plate, you know, that also holds our e-brake on there. You know, it just slides up and around the rear axle. You push your little T-bars through. Putting the hardware on it.
Just like that. Okay.
I don't have the castle nut.
I got one right here.
It's up to you.
All right.
And these come in from the back.
Yep.
The life of a tie rod end. Not an easy life.
No. Getting our tie rod ends same length. That way we have a good start off when we need to adjust our toe. All right, my friends.
I was say you can't be serenading me in front of everybody like that.
All right, Roger, right?
Yeah.
The scratch is tight.
All right, in front of me is the Holley Sniper EFI conversion tank. This area is recessed, so you can actually put your fuel pump and your sender in the original place of the tank. So you won't have any interference with the bottom of the floor, and you don't have to cut an access door for anything. You can go ahead and do everything outside of the car. Hey,
This is an LS Supercharger Kit from ProCharger. With this combination on race gas, it made 906 horsepower. And I think with the pump gas tune, it made somewhere around 700. But the big deal is a whole bunch of torque down low, and it keeps making torque on and on. So even near red line, you're still making really good torque. So in a car like this with a stick shift and 3,200 pounds, it's going to be plenty of power. All right.
Right now we'll be throwing on our Hydro Boost master setup. Slide that guy through there. It's got really good stopping power. It's got a, on your proportioning valve here on the back, it's got a feature that's got an adjustable prop valve. So you can dial in your rear brakes a little bit more, you know, if you want them to, obviously you want your front brakes to stop first, you know, but you can dial it in to where you're able to do burnouts a little bit easier, and you're not smoking your brakes in the process.
This has 8 100-pound injectors on it, but that should be enough to feed, I don't know, what'd you say, 1,200 horsepower? So quite a bit. Stuff's come a long way. Old school throttle bodies used to have 4 injectors here, or even 2 injectors here. Of course, before that was a carburetor which had big bowls of fuel on it, and then the Venturi effect would draw the fuel in as you open the throttle blades. So this is actually one of the more efficient ways to do this, is to have a kind of an air door and then injectors right on the ports. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
What did we do today?
Well, today we put on suspension, front and rear, and along with the brakes. Me and you tackled the front, which is pretty easy with the POL stuff, and POL guys knocked out the back pretty quick. I think we got pretty far along.
So I like the contrast. We got the yellow, and then we've got all the blacked out components, and that was kind of the idea, right? This is the blacked out kit, suspension, brakes, and front and rear, and then I think they blacked out the rear end too. So.
Yeah, I think it looks great, so I think we can go home and get started tomorrow.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. All right, so this is day 2. We're back at it. Engine's in front of us. What are we gonna be doing today, Doug?
It's engine day, so transmission, clutch, put this thing on a hook.
Oh yeah.
Drag it over and drop it in the car.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go pretty quick, and it's gonna give me a lot of time to wire today, and we'll start figuring out all the stuff around the engine, core support, fenders, all that good stuff. So I say we get going.
Let's do it.
All right.
We're day 2 of our build. We're starting to get our motor together. We're gonna throw our Holley valve covers on there, our E3 coil packs, spark plugs, and Duralast plug wires on it. Just on the coil packs right now, leave them hanging because later on we're gonna have our headers come in, and I don't wanna have to sit there and pop them all off again, so.
For the 69 Camaro 427 that's LS3 based, we're using the AFR Mongoose cylinder heads. They're 260cc cylinder heads, meaning the intake port is 26110 by 1300.
I'm gonna start setting the wiring in here. That way when it's dropped in, it's all plug and play, and I can start routing all my wiring for this.
Do you recommend that you put your motor on top of the table? And
Totally.
If you have a table that'll
If you're well
support it,
experienced,
sure.
yes. If you're not, don't even think about it. It's a lot safer than doing a gender reveal.
So how do you know?
Well, basically we've got to mate the two
Well, this one goes
And
in
then-
there, and the other one went around here.
and basically see how far the input shaft, heads in there.
So there's two different pilot bushings, depending on your application. One sits deeper in the crank, and the other one sits more far out right here on the face. For us, we know what we need, and we are about to install. There it is right there, fellers. Congratulations, you won. All right, so we're about ready to install our clutch, our spec clutch. But what you want to do first is install this shim that is provided by the QuickTime scatter shield. Because if you don't, you put this on there, you're not going to be able to get it on, and you have to take it right back off. So I've made that mistake. Plenty of people have. So fair warning. Also, quick tech tip, you make sure on these bolts you want to put some Loctite, and these are provided with it already. All right, so we're about to bolt on the clutch. Rup, do you mind telling us what we got here?
Okay, we have a spec. It's called their Super Twin. It's a Billet 9.5-inch clutch, dual disc, hence the term Super Twin. And Super realized the fact that it can handle between 700 and 1,500 horsepower, so plenty. This
ours,
engine made
yeah.
700 horsepower, like with low boost, and 900. It can easily make over
On
1,000.
91.
So this will be able to hold that. All right, once we get two in, we should be golden.
Yeah. All right, so here we have our Silver Sport transmission, T56 Magnum. And what we're gonna be doing right now is measuring our hydraulic bearing cushion measurement.
So we're going to put our straight edge, right across the back of our bell housing where our transmission's going to meet up. And then right on the flat surface of the diaphragm where our throwout bearing's going to ride. That's where we're going to take our measurement from.
And that looks like it's 2 7/16.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna write that down, 2 7/16 for our first measurement.
With our transmission, it comes with a couple of shims. So we're going to set that one to the side. We're going to put this, put our slave cylinder, all the way up against there, and this is going to let us know, with our measurement, if we're going to have to add this shim or if we're going to be able to run it without.
So get that straight edge. All right, and what do we have here, Randy?
Right there we are inch and 13/16.
Okay. So the first measurement was 2 7/16 minus inch and 13/16. We're gonna equal to 0.625. Now,
Okay, which-
is that in our cushion?
No, with our cushion.
Acceptable cushion?
No, because our acceptable cushion is between at least 1/8 to 3/8.
Okay.
Which would be 0.125 on the 1/8 inch, and then be no more than 3/8, so 0.375.
Yeah, so we're way past that. So as you
So
can
we
see
will
here,
have to run our shims.
and then basically do the same measurement with that shim behind it, and we're gonna get a new reading, 3125.
Okay, so that puts us in our sweet mark where we want to be because it's not exceeding
Yep,
that 3/8 of an inch.
Right under that, and in between that. So, yep, we're good right there.
I'm going to put a little lube around our shaft here, basically just so when we're sliding it in there, it goes in a little bit easier. And
No binding.
no binding, baby.
Get it up there, over there on the table first. There we go. We're gonna make this engine right now.
Right now.
Get it in the hole. I can't see, so.
She's sliding. There she goes there. Okay, we're there.
Do you want to see if we can open up some of those?
Holy hell.
Hold that up.
I know why they want us to wear steel toes.
There we go. We did it.
Move your fingers, party, please.
We did it.
Take her on out.
These are hookers. Black Heart line, super good. handmade in Kentucky. I've seen their jigs and their welders, and clears the bell housing and also clears the plugs. A lot of times you'll buy headers online and this thing will be right in front of the spark plug. That's no bueno. So this is nice because look, you can plug it right in. You're not going to burn your plug wires off. Left-handed.
You might not want to cinch them all the way down, Dougie.
That's right. What's it like being right all the time?
Go ahead, Doug, push your arm back. Thank you, sir. All right, hold on.
Move your hand. I got the tail in.
Okay. All right, push. Let's clear this bell housing here.
Yeah, 1 more inch and I'm on the hole.
Okay, I'll let you go in first.
I don't have a
I'm
bolt.
still up a little bit. Nope. Okay, so.
If it don't fit, force it.
Oh, look at that clearance, baby. Look at that clearance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
I know you're used to
We'll actually go over there and grab the plate.
So right now we found the center of our transmission where our shifter is going to be. And I am coming in here inside the car and I'm cutting up the carpet into a T. And it's gonna cut a big old hole right here. What? Did I just go through? What did I just do, guys? I just put a hole in the trans tunnel. What did I do? Aren't we running an automatic? All right, day 2, engine and trans are in. Doug, what do you think?
Well, the biggest deal is obviously the oil pan. You know, is that going to hit? And then the headers. Once you got those 2 things in, the rest of it's gravy.
Yeah, it was gravy. So you guys knocked out the blower, throwing that on, and the intake manifold. Me and Randy got everything else ready for the trans to go in. Got the hole inside the tunnel. I think we're doing pretty good on day 2. So what do you think? What do you say we get out of here? And
Yeah,
get
this
some
is a
sleep?
good place to stop.
I think so.
All right,
Let's go.
work on it tomorrow. Okay, so day 3, what are we doing?
Yes, we got a lot of wiring. We got inner fenders, outer fenders, core support, radiator. We got so much to do the next couple of days and today. I know we're gonna be busy.
So the engine's in. So front end, wiring, shifter, some pedals maybe, or they're already in.
Wheels, tires, bleeding brakes, bleeding clutch.
All right, that's a lot. Let's
Yeah,
get to it.
let's go.
All right.
We're gonna start installing our core support at this time. All right, so pick your side up. I'm putting it in the factory location where it was, but you do have a series of other holes here, you know, where you can move it forward. That was a factory setup to where, you know, if it had the straight 6 in it, you know, that was a little bit longer versus the V8, you know, but also there was different radiator combinations, you know, your 2-row, your 3-row, and 4 rows, you know, where it got a little bit bigger. He's laughing at me. I don't know why. He thinks he's funny over there.
Ray!
Oh, sorry.
We're getting kicked.
Nobody's ever figured out how to make a muscle car look good with no front fenders. Like, you know, Model A's look great.
This is true.
So if you could figure out a way to make a Camaro look good with no front fenders on it, eliminate a couple steps.
Well, now that we're trying to put our driver's side inner fender well on, we're running into the problem where our ProCharger is over a little further than we'd like it to be. Just so now we've got to make modifications to our inner fender well here to compensate, you know, for the big supercharger.
So we're going to use a Frostbite radiator on this thing. Have you ever seen the Frostbite? It's really nice piece of TIG aluminum. I'm actually kind of impressed with the beads they laid down here, and I know they do it by hand, so that's kind of cool. LS radiators, obviously suctions at the top, pressures below. A good way to tell it's LS is, of course, the smaller inlet here. We've also got a couple of fans, and then a fan shroud. This has actually got a cover on it, but it's all polished aluminum too. So there's a couple of holes you need to drill, but basically put the fan shroud on, mount the fans, wire them up to the ECU, and you're good to go.
This is something every LS swap has to deal with, is the radiator hoses. This one's a little bit more of a challenge because we have the, we're on each side instead of the typical with an LS swap where they're both on the passenger side. But that's why they make parts. We have these silicone hoses here, so we're gonna basically do this, and then Christian's we're gonna bridge the two with a piece of stainless, and we will be in like Flynn for the upper radiator hose. The lower is gonna be a little bit more challenging.
All right, so we're here at the chop saw, El Choppy. Gonna chop this sucker right here. We don't have a bead roller for our tube, and plus this stainless steel is way too thick. So I'm gonna put a couple beads on it in a bit with the welder. But first things first. Just like that. Come over here and you grind it down, nice and even. Deburr it. Come over here to the little grind wheel. Get all the little stuff inside the inner tube. There it goes. The other side was nice and clean, so let's go ahead and put those beads on.
Oh, I am making a mark so I can figure out, you know, my bracket here for the remote reservoir for the power steering.
So we're plumbing the Hydro Boost right now, and we need a reservoir tank. We need a reservoir tank not only for the Hydro Boost, but for the power steering system. And so we have this unit here from Eddie Motorsports. The nice thing about this tank is we can get whatever height we want. And let's just kind of guess like right about there, and just tighten this down. And now we can finish our plumbing of this out to the power steering pump and to the Hydro Boost. And we're golden.
All right, guys, so it may seem obvious, but don't rip the foil off the can of brake fluid when you open it, the bottle in this case. If you push a little hole in there, you get control over how much brake fluid comes out. Otherwise, you're making a mess. And then don't forget, you know, put a little hole above that so the air can go through.
All right, here we have our Terminator X computer for our EFI system from Holley. What I'm using is Velcro. You know, they have these holes here for you to run either self-tappers or bolts and nuts, but we decided to go the easy route just in case we have to move anything, and then later down the road when they really want to mount it somewhere nice and make a bracket for it, they can. For now, it'll be in the area where it would end up.
Go up like that. Hold it, you got it?
All right, so Painless Pro Series comes with a lot of various extra circuits like door lock power, window power, which we don't have, and we don't have power locks, we don't have window locks. So all that is fused wiring to the fuse box, so I can actually use that for the EFI. And if anything were ever to happen, you know, that fuse would pop before anything can happen to the unit.
Okay, go back.
Is your finger metric or standard?
Actually, it's like a crescent wrench. It's adjustable, man.
Dinner is served.
Cooling system, something everybody has to deal with. You could get lucky and go down and dig through the AutoZone and find a hose that works, or you can come up and make something. We found some hosing, some stainless tube, cut it, and the biggest problem you run into is this one's really small compared to the other parts of the system, and so the hose is not very tight on here, but we think with the hose clamps we're going to do it, and we're really close to this belt, so that's something we're going to have to look at when we fire this up and make sure everything's going to stay good. But there you have it, we have an upper radiator hose.
Well, we're just moving right along like gangbusters over here, guys. We're going to throw in our United Pacific LED tail lights. Basically, it's just your original bucket, your foam seal, fish that through. Make sure your foam seal doesn't fall through. push it on in, feed it back through there, and start putting your hardware back on. It's pretty simple to install this stuff.
So this is the blower hat. Pretty simple. Compressed air goes in. This is a BOV, blow-off valve. I guess there's larger ones than that somehow. But the concept is when you lift, right, you got all this air moving. When you lift and slam the throttle shut, all that air needs to go somewhere. This thing opens. Takes care of that for you. What's this called? Front valence?
Lower valence.
Lower valence going on.
Watch this go. Hang on.
There's also
I'm gonna smash
creamy
and
yellow.
bend and pull and prod.
All right, so we're at the end of day 3. A lot of wiring, a lot of stuff's been done to the car. We're here at the board checking off a lot of stuff. So I'm feeling good. I think we're gonna go home, get some rest, and come back tomorrow and kick it off again. Day 4, tank's going in. Tank should have been in on Monday, but we're here now. So Doug, I know we got a lot to do today.
Yeah, so fuel system, you got to finish the wiring. I've got to recover from the jalapeno and cheese pizza I ate last night. That's going to take most of the day.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we got a busy day ahead of us in order to stay on track and finish tomorrow. So I say we get going.
Let's put some new parts on.
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
Let's go, baby. Sometimes I feel like this thing just takes too long.
All right, I got to pull it back because the fill two's got to go behind the rear valence. Keep going. Maybe cut them here. Give us enough slack.
Yeah, I think so. Let's try that. Well, we just probably got to bend the crap out of it.
Then this.
Well, we're switching out the gas tank straps here. We had factory straps in the car, but this tank from Holley, because of the cutoff corners, is a little deeper than stock and has its own special double throwdown, extra deep gas tank straps. We had the wrong ones on, we have the right ones on now, and we are back in business. These came with the tank. They were just hiding in the bottom of the box.
So in front of us is our front spoiler that goes on all the Camaros. Classic Industries was nice enough to send us over, and they also send us over a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Front grille.
Our dash, our dash pad.
Yeah, all that stuff.
All the glass, the window cranks.
Regulators.
Regulators.
And all the little stuff, the screws, the kit for the front inner fenders, the outer fenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they gave us a ton of stuff.
Yeah, no, they really did.
All right, guys, so this is the Flaming River steering column, and it looks like this is a tilt version, and also got a locking key. So we're gonna slide it in here. We're not using a rag joint on this, we're actually using a U-joint, so a little more precision.
There we go.
Nice.
Houston, we have ignition.
Okay, so this is a Eddie Motorsports billet shifter. Of course, it's blacked out, matched the car. I mean, there's no trick to this. I guess the only thing that you really need to know is this is 3824, and that makes it fine thread. So don't try to cram a coarse thread bolt in here, because then you can have some problems.
So I need some extra wires, and this is from all the builds we've ever done. Woo! All right, you can literally wire a car with all this. So, need 3 wires here. Let me dive in.
And be sure to drop this stuff on first, right? So there's 2 pieces here. It basically pinches this together when you find the location where you want the shifter. Couple of lock nuts. There you go.
I'm just lean it on there right now so we can pull our hardware out.
You're on it, you're on it. You wanna pull it your way a little bit?
Sure. Let's get it over a little bit more.
Is the washer not big enough?
No, the washer's fine. Ugh.
I do these things for your approval, you know.
Do you?
Not cross-thread things.
Gonna start installing our side mirrors. This vehicle basically only came with the driver's side mirror. So we've got to poke some holes over here on the passenger side in order to run our mirrors. So let's hopefully they're right and we don't mess this one up. There should be. There you have it. Our United Pacific headlights. It's going to be getting installed.
Continuing our blacked out theme, Eddie Motorsports blacked out steering wheel. Same kind of concept, pretty easy. Slide in your horn button, slide it on. So your alignment guy is going to be the person that centers the wheel. So this has splines, so it's splined, it's straight up, and then it's splined at the U-joint, at the end of the shaft, and then really the tie rods are going to be what's making this move left and right. So get it close, pretty simple, nut and washer. And there's a horn cap on here, but I'm not going to put it on yet because we're going to do some wiring first. And then we'll plug this in and it just slides right on. Pretty simple.
All right, well, here's our moment of truth. Hopefully my measurements and everything were right on this, on our drive shaft. I'm pretty confident though. I'm gonna go ahead and lube up our yoke here and go ahead and slide her on in. Look at that. I do believe my measurements were correct. And there we have it. It's starting to roll out now. Not as violent as sometimes it could be.
All right, so tomorrow is the last day.
Yeah.
Last night, we left everybody with half a fender, no trunk lid, no front
pizza.
valance. Yeah, and some really bad choices with the pizza.
Yeah. I think we got a lot done today, for sure. I did a lot of wiring, but I still need a lot more than I expected.
Of course.
Nothing I can't handle, so what'd you guys do today?
We mostly put fenders on it, right? So we put fenders on it while you wired.
Yeah.
We did some little stuff like steering wheel and shifter and some of the interior parts.
Tail lights,
Yeah.
side markers.
Right, tail lights,
We got a
headlights
drive
went
shaft.
in.
Got a drive shaft.
Drive shaft went in. So quite a bit. It went from kind of a mess to
Yeah.
something that looks like a car and everything's kind of aligned.
organized. Yeah, I think so. So I think,
Fuel, electrical, battery power, and then we'll start it up tomorrow, right?
yeah. So I'm gonna stay a little late. Keep wiring. So let's go home. You go home.
Good luck with that. Last day, Friday.
It's here. Car's almost ready. Hood needs to go on. Wheels need to go on. Fluids. What else?
That's it, not a lot. Fire up the engine, make sure it doesn't leak, burn down, kill us all. Second gear burnouts in the parking lot. It's gonna be a blast.
Big fun.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Woo!
Dude, we're moving right along. I'm getting ready to install our Dakota digital gauges. One thing I will point out, it's a little easier to do. Right now with this build, you guys know that we're under an extreme deadline. So we had already installed our dash. I would recommend for you guys, that if you're building one of these at home, to do your gauges outside of the car, so it's pretty cramped quarters underneath there right now. But we're gonna go ahead and give her hell.
Big moment here. We're getting the wheels and tires on the car. These are the new Falcon RT660 tires. A good competition street tire. 200 tread wear, going to be nice and sticky when we go out and run the car. But to do that, we need to get this car on the ground so we can get out in the parking lot, do some burnouts, and head home for the night.
All right. You want to keep coming more?
We can't.
I think that's good. That way we don't have to hit that pole right there. If you swing out the That door right there.
That's taking the fun out of it.
All right, we're gonna put our fuel regulator on this nice firewall. Some people might say it's ridiculous, but hey, you know what? You can tell where your fuel pressure is once it's there. And you wanna be very, very, very careful. All right, there we go. We went through just like that. All right, so now that I made my first hole, you can go ahead and grab your level, throw your bracket on for your fuel regulator, and get a level on here to make sure it's gonna be leveled and look nice on the firewall and not be all crooked. So there's our fuel regulator. Now you just gotta plumb it, and you always know your fuel pressure here whenever you open up your engine bay.
Yeah, hopefully it gets all the bubbles out. It usually doesn't get all the bubbles out. And because of this contour, I'm gonna contour it down.
It's Eddie Motorsport hood hinge time. Which means we're getting close to popping the hood on this thing, starting to check all our wiring connections, and turning the motor over and making sure we're all golden.
He's like the same color as the car.
High five!
Wow, he is the same color.
That's crazy. Time to take a break. It's been some long days and nights, people. Exhausted. Back at it. Had a boo-boo here, man. I gotta change the seat out. This is actually the driver's seat. Our red strip here, I didn't see it, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm trying to work hard and fast and didn't recognize it or realize it, so I get to do it twice.
Yeah, okay. There you go. I'm gonna try to not to step on a sticker guy.
That's okay.
All right.
Put in this
All
nice
right, hand back here.
steel cowl.
I got the front.
Lean in.
Whoa.
Hold it with your shoulder. Come on, Doug. Follow me. There you go. And then we'll
You've
bring
done
it
this a
on
couple
down.
times, haven't you?
I have.
Jesus, you're a smart guy.
I've even done it by myself.
Doug beat you, bro.
I was actually slowing down a little bit, letting him get his stuff
Yeah,
in.
uh-huh.
I was. I promise. Watch
be
the
the last
footage.
time I've
Watch the
had to wait
footage
for
later.
Careful. Okay, I'll watch the back. Watch
You're
the
good,
corners.
you're good,
I'm
you're
good over
good,
here.
you're
The
good.
gap's
You got a
good.
mile over here.
Yeah, you're good over
How
here.
are we at the back?
You good?
You're good in the back.
Okay,
Hold on.
I need to go back a bit.
Yeah, you do.
Go ahead.
Right here where the
Second.
blow off is.
Shell's gonna have to get.
Yep.
I think it's that edge.
That doesn't look very squished.
Well, you moved it forward. It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think we're golden.
I think we're good.
That's it.
Lock it. All right.
Getting ready to get started on doing the exhaust. I just had to poke the hole in the header for the O2 sensor. Now I'm gonna weld my, my collector on it and then start building my exhaust back from there. I just grind it, yeah, it's gotta.
Okay. You wanna go grind it? I'll cut this. It's my mating call. All right. It's super duper Mobo 1. Shut towers, hey! Hey! All right, let's go. Just like that. Okay, right there.
This is our still.
Yes, sir. We're about to make some moonshine.
Some Camaro Holler Moonshine
Uh-huh.
brand.
That's what we're gonna call it,
Camaro
Camaro Moonshine.
Sorry about your shoes.
Yeah, I can feel it trickling down my fingers and burning the crap out of my cut. Well, at least I got
You know
these
what I
shop
could use right
towels.
now? I could use some shop towels.
Oh, okay, here you go. That should be plenty. Oh look, I made a mess. How silly of myself.
It's like freaking incubating this thing or something.
Hey, there's a lot of sheets in here. I don't know what you... How many sheets are in here? 55. 55 sheets, man. I could throw down 30 on here and I still got some. Okay, battery is on. Battery is on. Stay. You guys ready?
Send it.
Yep, do it. Let's try it. As soon as I turn the key to turn on, it kills all power. Yeah, so we're gonna go from a 12-volt source constant into our 12-volt ignition. So it will be constant all the time. It's on now.
Yeah. Our volts are dropping too low. Put a jumper on it.
Okay. Either that, the cam, or the crank sensor is wrong too.
Yeah, see, I'm still only showing like when it's cranking over here, it's like 9-something volts.
So it's midnight on Friday, or about 10 till. So it's day 5. We almost made it, but if anybody knows anything about cars, you know that sometimes things come up. So looks like we might be having a cam sensor issue, but I'm not going to guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to pack it away for tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to get here with a fresh brain, and then it's going to be obvious what the problem is, and we're going to start it up and go do a burnout. Right, Chris?
Definitely.
Okay. See you guys tomorrow.
All right, we're back in here this morning. We figured out what's going on with the car. It didn't want to run, so it turns out I ended up swapping out the coil wires from odd to even, so we swapped them back to the right position. And during that process, I ended up going into the wizard on the Holley EFI computer and changed some stuff up, which you should really not do. So take that note.
It's already got the tune.
Yeah, it's got the tune in it, so you don't want to go in there again and mess it up, and that's what happened. So CPR came out here and actually put the tune back in. Now we got the car running. It's ready to go. The car looks amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing what we could do, you know, in 6 days, man. I'm happy with the way that it came out. You know, the stance, everything looks great on it.
Yep.
You know, the sound of it's phenomenal, dude. I can't wait to get it outside, man, and light these tires up.
Yep, so there's one more thing to do, and I think everybody knows what that is, so let's go ahead and give it to them.
All right, let's do it.